Welcome to another episode of This Week on Irritating Libs on Canadian Freedom, right? Let's get in to our first lib of the week, and it's none other than someone who's been featured before, and besides Trudeau, probably the top most irritating lib herself, the Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, Crystia Freeland.
On the incident, as you guys know very well, Canada is a rule of law country. Canada is a democracy. Operational decisions about law enforcement are taken by the police of jurisdiction. Quite appropriately, political elected officials have no role in the taking of those decisions, and that's why I don't have any further comment.
I call BS. It seemed to me ahead of time. I did a video on the whole incident earlier the week about them knowing David Menzies from Rebel News, who the Liberal Party cannot stand because they are obviously on the right side of the spectrum and very critical of their government, which they should be. They did not want him asking questions. And the fact that she didn't answer the question was, do you think he should have been arrested? Was that fair, freedom of the press? And she avoided the question, and God, she's so irritating. I don't know about you, but I can't stand that woman. Let's see who's next on Irritating Libs this week. Okay, so next Irritating Lib of the week is going to be a surprise. It's progressive, conservative Ontario leader Doug Ford. I know, he's a conservative, progressive conservative. But let's just have a listen to this.
All right, welcome back. We're going three wide here. For everyone watching who's ever walked into a Staples and said to themselves, I wish a Service Ontario was here, you now have your wish. The provincial government are closing an undisclosed number of Service Ontario locations, and they're being replaced with kiosks at certain Staples Canada stores in and around Ontario. This will apparently reduce costs and increase access to services by 30%, so says the Ford government. Changes are coming to the way Ontarians access provincial services like health, card, and driver's license renewals. Impacted workers, and there are a few, will be the first to be offered continued employment. That is the line from this provincial government. Mayor, I don't know what to make of this. What's your initial reaction here?
Okay, so my irritating lib from that clip was Doug Ford. I know, he's a conservative. Well, he's a progressive conservative. But that sounds to me like a Liberal idea. Not the closing of Service Ontario to save money by putting those services online. But what they didn't mention was the government is footing the bill to retrofit, design, and build the Service Ontarios in the Staples. I don't know about you, but unless you go into a Staples store the week before school starts or maybe around Christmas, those places are ghost towns. So I would think that private company is going, oh great, we're going to get a lineup of people in our store every day using our Service Ontarios. Don't you think the deal should be they front the bill to set up the Service Ontario sections? Because I can guarantee you, anytime the taxpayer and the government are footing the bill for building, design, retrofitting, that price skyrockets. And I guarantee you we're going to come out in the red. Sounds like a pretty irritating Liberal idea to me. The second part of that video clip for my irritating Liberal is none other than Sid 60. Now, I know he's not a politician, And he should probably shut his mouth because he's not. He's a breakfast television commentator who talks about clothing, the weather, and, coffee or whatever. Go back to talking about baseball, the Raptors, and hockey, because you know what you're talking about. A few days ago, I heard him go on this long rant about, if I have to hear another person complain about Justin Trudeau's vacationing, he's our prime minister, he deserves his vacations, and we should be fulfilling his bill. He's important, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Go back to talking about the Raptors. Irritating. Another irritating liberal. BT television. Obviously subsidized by taxpayer dollars from the liberal government. So there's my irritating liberals this week. Join me next time on This Week on Irritating Libs, because they just keep getting more irritating. Like, subscribe, share, help the little guy out on conservative, I should say conservative freedom, Canadian freedom, right? Thanks again.